Good morning. I almost started singing at you then. You're lucky I caught myself. How are we doing out there? If you don't know what I'm doing on here, I'm about to be doing a chat on the importance of movement, and if you don't move it, you're going to lose it. I did a little post yesterday to let everybody know that I was going to be here, and it's always a bit of a tough one, this, because I know that we're in lockdown, and before lockdown it was always very hard to convince people that movement is the reason, or if they were to move more they might be in less pain. So that's what I'm here for this morning. Hello, good morning. If you don't know me, hi, my name's Lisa, and so I'm a personal trainer, lifestyle coach, so here we go. I wanted to write a little piece on the importance of mobilisation, especially now that we're on a second lockdown. Most of us have literally spent the whole year inside right now. So we are definitely not as mobile as we used to be, and even before all of these lockdowns, it was very common to hear of people that had sore back, sore hips, and blah blah blah. Hi, whoever that is that's just popped up on there. It's nice to see you this morning. Oh my god, it's Harry. Hey Harry, how are you doing? Much love to you this morning. I hope that you're well, and if you're having any aches or pains anywhere, maybe let me know about it. So this is always a bit of a tough one to chat about, because people don't really care about mobilisation, and people don't really care about stretching until they do themselves an injury or something bad enough that they then have to do physiotherapy, and then they do the damn stretches. So hi, if I'm missing anyone this morning, I can see you all popping on, but I can't see my screen fully, so good morning, good morning. And I guess the reason why it's hard to preach about stretching is that it's boring for most people, or mobilisation. So I've dressed it up as a new word, mobilisation. It is actually the technical word for it, and there's a difference between mobilisation and stretch. So stretch is kind of aimed at the end of a workout, and it's generally a little bit slower, whereas mobilisation is what we do to prep our bodies. So if you're sitting there and you're like, well, hold on, I've tuned in because she was talking about getting rid of back pain, but I don't work out, this isn't for me. Well, it is actually. It's more for you, especially if you don't work out, because now we're sitting at home because of lockdown. We are not even most of us aren't even managing to get our steps in. So we are now more sedentary than ever. And if you sit in the same position, I can't see, I can just sneaking up above here to see if anyone's writing any comments. I can see you all popping on. But good morning. If I'm not catching you here, hello. If you do leave any comments that I don't see, I will catch it at the end. But if you are having any problem areas, then please do let me know about it, because I might be able to help you out super quick. So, yes, we're all very sedentary. That's where I was. Now more than ever, it's easy. Most of us have got our laptops and we're working at home off the sofa or in bed. So there's really not a lot of movement that our bodies are doing. So if you were sitting there and you're thinking, oh, I can't understand, I've had this going on for ages now. Well, it's probably down to lack of movement. And it's the same in the lower back, and it's the same in the hips and the sciatica as well. Well, I know that stretching is boring, but I know that it's effective. The reason why it works is because if you think about the fact that we don't move, so we're always stuck and locked in a sort of a similar position, well, that's the only movement that our bodies had today. So if you're not getting in for a good movement session, well then of course your joints and muscles are going to become tight and seized up and inflamed, because we're not actually giving them a chance to open up and stretch to their full potential. And also you notice that when you do start doing these stretches, I would guarantee within, especially for sore back and hips, I love being a personal coach, especially for women, because sore back and hips is something that women just seem to suffer with and accept that this is their life now. But it doesn't have to be that way. It's because we don't do any hip stretches. So if this does sound like you or similar to you, something that you struggled with before, I know that there is a lot of us out there. I work out pretty much every day, apart from weekends, to get the weekends off. But there has been times where I have also, down to lack of proper stretching, still found myself in a little bit of pain. Now there's a few different types of pains when it comes down to what we need to do. If you do work out and you've got what we call DOMS, which is a delayed onset of muscle soreness, then this really affects the muscles that you've been working out, and they will feel sore. They will feel sore to move and sore to touch. This is actually a kind of good DOMS, good soreness, because it means that you've pumped that muscle and it's released all its lactic acid, and that's what that is. You can actually stretch and foam roll to make that more pleasant. You can also have a bath and elevate your legs to get rid of muscle pumped pain. Then it's the stiffness and the soreness that are related to restricted range of movement, so that your body has more range of movement there but you're not using it. And then we also have a bad one, which is almost feels like a sprain or a definite hurt, and if you were to do any more on it you could possibly do more damage. If you're heading on to this last one, like I have sprained my ankle, well then probably mobilisation and stretching from this video isn't going to be what you're going to need, but you are going to need to go and see a doctor and get stretches from the physio, and you will see that they are mobilisation stretches, because that is what is going to help you grow those supporting muscles stronger. So I hope I've done a good job of explaining that bit there, but please, if I've confused anyone, please write me a little message. I'm just going to have a little peek over here. Well done, Harry. Yeah. Due to the pain. Yes, this is the thing. Okay, cool. And I relate to this. So my amazing friend has just written here that he's had some kind of surgery, that he has massive hip pain, and he does have exercises that the physio has given him, but he's not very motivated to do it because of the pain. And again, this is probably one of the biggest reasons why people don't stretch, because it hurts. And definitely something that I can relate to. If you don't, you might know this about me, Harry. We've been friends for a few years, but years and years ago, when I was very young, I had a pretty major surgery in my back, and it didn't go very well the first time. The second one was successful, but there was a lot of nerve damage which led me to losing the use of my left leg. And when I finally could make it move a little bit, we had to do a lot of hydro and we had to do a lot of physio. And my nan was just amazing, because I had these stretches that I had to do, and it was for sore back and sore hips. So I imagine that you're also doing the pigeon stretch. You might not know what that is, but it was definitely one of mine. And obviously I was out recovering from a major surgery, and I didn't want to do the stretches because they hurt. They really hurt me to do it. And I remember once I was sitting there, I must have been on, I don't know where I was with my nan anyway. And she's like, oh, don't you have those stretches to do? And I was like, yeah, Nan, but they really hurt, so I'm probably not going to do them. And she basically gave me a piece of real advice. She was like, how are you ever going to expect to get better or to get over this if you're not going to be willing to put the work in that's going to help you overall? And I was like, oh, strong words, thanks, Nan. But then she also suggested to me that it didn't have to take forever. It doesn't have to take all day. You can put a 2-minute timer on. I mean, we used to have adverts back then, so I used to do it when the adverts came on of a show that I was watching. And I would have my stretches and I would get them done. And really, I have got a lot to thank my nan for there, because if she didn't have those tough words with me, I probably wouldn't have got down and done it. But yeah, I would say as much as it hurts, if they've given you those physio moves, stretches to do, I don't know too much about your surgery, but I did have a back operation, and I know that we can also be quite precious about looking after it, the areas that have hurt. I'm still looking out for my back and my little leg that doesn't work as well as my other one. So yeah, she is a wise lady, she is. So I hope that one helps you there. If you're sitting here and you're thinking, well, cool, I know that I'm stiff and I'm achy and that's what you've logged in for today, then here's what we're going to do about it. I'm actually creating a little stretching sequence, and that you can break it down into upper body and lower body, and you can do the whole thing together. So if you're not feeling like you want to spend an awful lot of time stretching, then you can break it down into the 2 phases. If you're thinking, oh, well, she said that it's important for me to stretch, but I don't work out at all, what do I need to do? The same thing. You're just going to follow along the stretches that I'm going to be making for you. And if you're into it, if a lot of people want it, I would be very happy to come on and do the live stretch with you guys, as well as sending you the video of how you can do those movements. And yeah, those movements can be quite soft, but we're mobilising here. So if you notice that most of us will suffer with a sore neck and tight shoulders, but did you know that literally with the most boring exercises you can fix it just by testing your range of motion without being forceful about it? So stretching is definitely mobilisation. It's definitely important, especially now that we are all starting to get older. It's something that I hear again and again, and I consider us quite young, but I'm seeing friends around me who are a similar age, maybe a little bit older. Some of them have had kids, some of them haven't, but they've all got a backache, or they put their back out while they were doing the hoovering, and silly things that you're all resigned to, but you don't have to be, because you're not supposed to be in a world of pain right now. We're too young for that shit. And if I've got hey girl, yes, Sammy, she's managed to pop on. How are you doing? I've also worked with very many older clients who've been around 40s or 50s, who've never even stepped foot inside a gym, and they let it get to that point before they thought, oh my god, I need to do something about this before my health ruins me. So it's never too late to start. If you think, oh God, well, I'm like 35 now and I haven't done anything, so what's the point? There's always a good time to start. I mean, I made massive progress, and I loved my older clients at the gym that didn't know what they were doing, because they just got in there and they got it done. And yes, okay, cool. So now we've got some suggestions coming in. So Sammy does power walking home from the school run. And I have to tell you, Sammy, that's actually one of my favourite things to do. Most of the time, because we're always in a rush around here. But just lately, a good power walk is awesome, because you're engaging your core. You're getting good bum in there as well. Yeah, a good power walk is good. It makes you feel fresh as well. You notice that by the time you probably get home, you're like, woo, I'm ready to start the day. So yes, movement is key. Don't become one of those old people that didn't move it. So now, here's the other thing that I like to get people to think about. I know that none of us want to say that we're getting old, and we're not. But we are actually getting to the age of we don't move nowhere near as much as we used to. If you think back to times when we were in school, we had to do PE, we had to do running, we had to do walking to and from school. Whereas now, most of us have got a car. Most of us are sat at home anyway. You know, most of us have got kids, so you don't get to run around doing your own fun stuff, because you've got to run around after them, and then all you want to do is sit down by the time that they've gone to bed. But the thing is that if you don't move it, you definitely will lose it. And I don't want you to become one of those people that ignores the internal cries of help from those aches and pains, and resigns themselves to the fact that this is just what happens in life. it does happen, but only if you let it happen. And also the other things I want you to think about is how expensive it's going to be when you get to that older age and you can't walk around anymore. So you're going to be one of those people that has a mobility scooter, that has to have a wheelchair or a walking frame, or can't go out much anymore. How awful would it be to be one of those people just because you didn't spend a little 10 minutes 3 times a week giving yourself a little stretch? I know that sounds like a massive rant, but it's actually super difficult to get people to be interested in mobilisation. And again, it's not something, hey girl, how are you doing? Thank you so much for popping on. It's not something that you have to be interested in. It doesn't have to take up the whole day. I actually like to, well, I have time to stretch, and it's my job, so I get to do it quite a lot anyway. But I remember when I was first starting and all of this was super difficult for me, I liked to play the advert game. So I would do it in the, because that was the thing then, when you actually had to wait for the adverts. I would do those awful exercises in those adverts, because then it's not taking up any of your time. You'd be wasting that time watching the TV anyway. And also when I'm cooking, because I'm not really a fan of cooking, so I like to just put my stuff in the oven and go away and do something else to take my mind off it. So if you're looking for some clever tricks of how you're going to get it in, then just let me know, because there's always a little 3 minutes here and there that you can fit in a little stretch for. And if you're sitting there thinking, actually, yeah, I really enjoyed that chat, I would like to know what I need to do next, all I'm going to get you to do is just message me your email so that I can send you out some sequences that you can do yourself. And if you're really interested in this, then maybe we can all get together and do a live stretching sequence. Obviously you won't be on the big screen, it will be me, but you can all do it with me. That would be awesome. So thank you guys for turning up for this chat this morning. I hope it's been useful, but please get at me now with any of your questions if you have any. Happy to answer them. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, the mobilisation methods I'm going to give you guys is all going to be in body weight, because that's probably the best way for us to stretch, and none of us have those annoying things that all those people have got around to help them stretch. So I'm going to be doing a couple of phases of mobilisation. I'm going to stick one on upper body, I'm going to stick one on lower body. If you are suffering with sore neck, sore shoulders, sore hips, bum and sciatica, this might be the thing that you're looking for, especially if those painkillers are not covering it. Painkillers are not covering it because your body is asking for help, and it's not just something that can be ignored. If you choose to ignore it, you are going to end up doing some damage somewhere along the way, because here's the interesting thing. If you're in pain, let's just take it to the shoulder, okay? Everyone gets a bit of neck pain and shoulder pain, but if that shoulder is always painful, you might start bringing it up here because it hurts for it to be relaxed. So let's do that. We're going to walk around like that now for the whole week. And imagine that you were doing the hoovering, you're doing the washing up, but this bit's hurting or your neck's hurting. Well, you now just spent a whole week like this. And your body has now had to compensate a whole load of movements. And it started to now do it all in the wrong way, because you're precious about the stiffness that you've got up here in your neck and shoulders. And if you'd just chosen to do a little mobilisation, as annoying as it is, as boring as it is, your day and your whole week would have been a lot better, because you would have stretched that pain away instead of just accepting it, ignoring it, and resigning yourself to a life of pain. It's not necessary. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please do message me. I am going to be doing some stretching sequences. I do think I will be doing a couple live anyway, just to show people what it's all about. So let me know if you fall into the first category of upper body, neck, shoulder pain. If you fall into the lower body of hips, back sciatica and hamstring, like the back of the leg, then and calves and ankles, you can put number 2. And if you want both of them, tell me about it and I'll send you both. I'll be creating these videos throughout the next couple of days. So once I have done them, I'll be sending you out an email with the videos of how you can do these mobilisation methods for yourself. So you don't have to wait for me to do it. Please do get at me if you do have any other questions. Yes, I'm just going to have a little read up now. Yes, Harry, you are definitely going to like my mobilisations for lower body. And I also resonate with back issues and restless legs and sciatica. So yes, stay tuned. I'll definitely be sending you something. Make sure you send me your email. That was perfect. Thank you very much. Okay guys, I am going to get out of your hair. Thank you very much for turning up this morning. And please, again, do let me know if you're suffering in pains anywhere. Even if I haven't mentioned it, may as well just shoot me a message and ask, because you don't know what I know, if that may be able to help you with. Have a great day, and I shall see you all soon. Goodbye.